The riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, Barney Gumble to my Mo Sislak, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I am so very sad. Also, my arms hurt from these sleeve tattoos I got. That was a poor decision.
I was curious if those were authentic tattoos or maybe you just had them drawn on. The swelling makes me think that they're real.
They are real. I have made a huge mistake, and they will only get more swollen as I undergo months of tattoo removal treatment.
At this point, you've got to be getting a discount.
Oh yeah, Garrett, I have a card. Actually, I think by next Christmas, I will be able to get the Insane Clown Posse tattooed on my face for the week and then removed all for free.
Why? Just don't do it, though.
We'll see.
I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm here merely to provide suggestions. I'm suggesting you don't do that. I'm suggesting you never get another tattoo again.
I mean, that is a great suggestion. You are a good friend. Do you think you can get white tattoos?
Yes, I do. On your body?
Oh, I'm so very pink. I mean,
I'm sorry. Are you going to get a juggalo face tattooed on your face?
That is the plan. For free. And then I'm going to get it removed for free. I am building up a lot of points both at the tattoo parlor and the tattoo removal parlor. You'd think that would be like a doctor's office, but it's not. It's a parlor.
Questionable. We're going to put a pin in that, Tim, and circle back off mics. I'm curious. You're sad. I've noticed you've been mopey as hell this week, and you have covered yourself wrist to shoulder in what appears to be some sort of tribal pattern. What's got you so down, friend?
Well, we have been listening for the past week to the equally sad and equally deep debut album of Mr. Chris Ender Carrabba and his fake band Dashboard Confessional, The Swiss Army Romance.
I'm curious. Do you hate this album?
Oh, Garrett, I hate this album. I hate this person. I hate myself for agreeing and possibly suggesting this. I didn't go through the emails, just didn't have time with all the listening and the tattoos and the weeping that I've been doing. But I hate anyone that ever suggested this. This has been a nightmarish hellscape of tears and feelings I thought were long buried. Garrett, I am a wreck.
Those are powerful words, Tim.
Did you hate this? Oh my God, you loved it.
Tim, listen, our job is to make an objective declaration based on science of whether or not we hated these albums.
Yep, and there's only one right answer this week.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I sat down, I looked at the music, reviewed it, listened to the words, researched the man, took the band in totality in my decision before I decided whether or not to hate it. And when you do that, you add it all up, of course I hate it.
Oh, thank God.
Of course I hate it.
Garrett, I was really not looking forward to trying to get you there this week.
It wouldn't have been hard. Tim, there's very few albums we do that I can confidently hate right up top with zero hesitation. I hate this for so many reasons. It's impossible to reverse get me there this week. I am there. I'm here. Look at me. Look at me here. Here I am.
You are there. You are there, yep. And you are here.
Right.
You are everywhere. I don't understand what's happening.
I have lost the thread a bit. The point is, this band sucks.
And it's not really a band. It turned into a band, but it's a fake band.
Yeah, we'll get there. Tim, I am curious. Is this the first time your confessional has been dashboarded?
It is not, actually. This was weirdly popular during my senior year of high school and freshman year of college. I have heard some of this. Based on that being my time frame, you, Gazzy, were much too old for this. But I think I mentioned this last week. Somebody gave me the MTV Unplugged album as a gift. It was a CD-DVD combo. I have listened to it at least once. I've watched the entire thing at least once. I found it kind of embarrassing even at the time. Like, I was embarrassed for him.
Who gave you this?
I gave it to myself.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I love it so much. I recognized more than one song vaguely on this album, although they all kind of sound the same. The only one I can say for sure is the first song. That being said, is this the first time you have confessed to a dashboard?
Sure is, friend. I never ever have heard any of this ever. What is this? What is this?
This is emo.
Oof. It's pure, unadulterated emo.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
Nope.
Okay, baffling. Now, to be fair, I've very much heard of Dashboard Confessional. I'm aware that they are a band, and more importantly, I was aware that that was a band I didn't want anything to do with. So I had to have at least some idea. Maybe somebody just said it's like super emo-y, kind of like Jimmy Eat World or Newfound Glory. Do you like Death Cab for Cutie? No. So no, Tim, this was the first time my confessional had been dashboarded, and I gotta say, it was unpleasant to be.
Yes.
That's your history. That's my history. But before we can talk about this album, we need to understand the creative mind behind it. So Tim, take us on a journey. I know it's going to be brief. Help us understand, how did Dashboard Confessional and more importantly, the Swiss Army Romance come to be?
The story all starts with Mr. Christopher Andrew Carrabba. Sometimes that middle name gets shortened to Ender after the character Ender Wiggin from Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game saga. It is unclear why.
Well, to be clear, as I understand it, he gave himself this nickname, and as you and I have covered, that's not a nickname.
Yep.
Can't give it to yourself, folks. Sorry, you can't even ask a friend to give it to you for you. Doesn't count.
Chris was born in Connecticut. His parents got divorced when he was 3. His family stayed in West Hartford, Garrett's 19th favorite town in Connecticut, and believe me, he can name them all.
Please don't make me.
I won't. I just wanted everyone to know one of your many talents. But Chris stayed there until he was 16 or so. Then he moved with his mom to Boca Raton, Florida. And that's where things really started to go wrong, as they usually do in Florida.
They never go right.
He spent a lot of time skateboarding. He sung in his high school choir, and he played guitar at home. He went on to go to Florida Atlantic University to study education. And also he joined a band called the Vacant Andes, as well as another band called The Agency, where he met somebody named Mike Marsh, who would go on to be Dashboard Confessional's drummer someday when they actually became a full band. He also randomly filled in as the guitarist for Newfound Glory for a little while in 98. I found that very odd. I mean, it's not a big band, but for the kind of pop punk circuit, it was a pretty big band in 98, right?
Yeah, no, they were a very popular band.
After graduating from college, the music industry just did not want him. So he got a job teaching elementary school, and he would play guitar in his office when he wasn't teaching. There's nothing irritating about that.
No, nothing obnoxious or needy about that.
Yep. And he joined the band Further Seems Forever, kind of an emo band, and they've also been classified as a Christian rock act due to the individual members' religious beliefs, frequent themes of Christianity in their lyrics, their association with the predominantly Christian Tooth and Nail record label, and their performances at Christian-themed festivals. The group have claimed not to be explicitly a Christian band, but rather a rock band with Christian members.
Which band was this?
Further Seems Forever, or FSF, as I will be calling them from here on out.
Do you have a lot more FSF news for us?
I do.
God damn it.
Anyway, Topher recorded a single album with them, and then in his spare time, he recorded the album of the week, the Swiss Army Romance, as a solo album. He named himself Dashboard Confessional. The Swiss Army Romance was released in 2000 on Fiddler Records. The original run was only 1,000 copies. Then it got picked up by Drive-Thru Records for a re-release.
Okay.
So Topher left FSF to focus on DC before FSF released their first album, so he could release his second album as DC, which was called The Places You Have Come to Fear the Most, or TPYHCTFTM, in 2001.
That's all crystal clear.
That album has been certified gold, but it did get a tiny little bomb icon from Christgau. It's unclear if that's good or bad.
To this day, we do not know.
Then he released the album A Mark, a Mission, a Brand, a Scar, which somehow peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200 in 2003, somewhere around there.
I wonder if you know songs from that album.
Possibly. Despite hitting number 2 on Billboard, to this day that album is still only certified gold in the US. And at this point, Topher was really embracing the full band sound. He's got drums, he's got bass, he's got electric guitar. It's all coming together for him. In 2004, this band did the song Vindicated for the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack / ending credits. Are you going to claim you haven't heard that?
Oh, I mean, I have to have seen every Spider-Man movie there is at least 4 times.
That's right.
Oh, was this Tobey Spider-Man 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a pretty good one. It's better than all those other fucking Andrew Garfield things. I like the lizard one. That second one, though.
The second one is my favorite. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's worse than emo Spider-Man 3. And he punches a woman in the face in that movie while dancing.
He does, folks. Look it up. I bet Tim that Spider-Man does not, in fact, punch a woman in the face in Spider-Man 3. I lost that bet.
Yep. He also has Hitler hair.
He does have Hitler hair. I never understood why that was synonymous with cool.
Did you not, Garrett?
No, Tim, I didn't.
Oh, then me either. Dashboard Confessional released Dusk and Summer in 2005, then The Shade of the Poison Trees in 2007, and then his sister was in a car accident. She went into a coma for several months, and so he spent time visiting her in the day. I mean, I don't know why. She didn't know. And recording his next album at night after The Ending was released in 2008. Then he briefly rejoined FSF, and then he released a covers album as a solo project from his solo project. In 2010, he released The Swiss Army Romance as a limited edition deluxe vinyl package, and then he did an acoustic tour to commemorate the 10th anniversary. He didn't do too much until 2018 when he released a new album called Crooked Shadows. Whatever that means, the end.
Ugh, nothing interesting happens with this man. I was hoping he might be of Carrabba's fame.
No.
He doesn't own a single Italian fast dining establishment.
I don't know if you've been in a Carrabba's recently, and I'm not 100% sure if they are in fact sponsoring us, so I will say this as nicely as possible. It's not that fast.
Really?
It's casual and it's fine, and if they are sponsoring us, I love it. That being said, not that fast. You wait
and
for
you know
a
what?
long time.
Last couple of years, going downhill.
Well, no, again, we don't know if they're sponsoring us, Garrett.
That's true. We don't know that. If they are a sponsor, I want to be sure to say to treat yourself the next time you're at Carrabba's and order that fried calamari as an appetizer. You'll thank yourself. If they're not, I want to say the last time I was in a Carrabba's, it smelled a little like a toilet. A little.
Yeah. That's a Dallas establishment, Garrett.
Is it?
I believe they're headquartered in Dallas.
Well, that's inconsequential to this conversation.
I know where all franchises are headquartered. I wrote a book about it.
And I've told you every time you've told me, don't care.
I spent months doing it.
I told you to stop.
In your defense, you did advise against that. But I followed through on it.
You've got nothing but follow through, provided the goal is either unclear or childish.
Thank you.
Nope.
General thoughts. I just want to say up front, I hate this whiny little bitch, and I hate his whiny little bitch album.
Harsh.
Not really. It's nicer than it should be.
I concur. Tim, I didn't think it was possible. I think I hate acoustic guitar now.
Yeah, honestly, this was a really irritating week because musically it feels like this was made with me in mind. I love Crazy Horse, but for my money, the best Neil Young will always be solo acoustic Neil Young. You strip back all the production and the rest of it. If it's a good song, it's fucking great. And therein lies the problem. These are not good songs. And he's not a particularly good guitarist.
Oh, wow. Harsh.
Do you disagree?
I was going to say, I mean, it is fine.
It's serviceable. I feel like if you gave me a couple of weeks, I could play these songs.
Wow. I would say a year. I mean, I've seen you with an instrument. Anywho, you accuse this band of not being a band.
Yes.
State your case.
It's just this guy. Occasionally there's other people singing on it, but I think he plays all the instruments, and by all the instruments, I mean a single acoustic guitar, and he sings 99% of it. Occasionally there's backing vocals. Sometimes those backing vocals appear to be sung by a child. I don't think they are. We'll get there.
But could be. Nothing makes me happier than to disagree with you. Can't do it. You're 100% accurate. Let's talk about his voice. It's either whisper singing or what I like to call a solid tantrum wail.
Yes, I agree completely. When he keeps it kind of quiet, it's not terrible. When he tries to sing loudly, he forgets that it needs to sound good too.
Oof.
And
I think it's a stylistic choice, but it's a bad one.
Well, yeah, he wants to sound sad. He wants you to know how very, very sad he is.
I don't understand that, because the sadder I get, the more I want to hide it.
Yeah, you just go into a room by yourself, you close the door, you wait 20 minutes, you begin weeping. 10 minutes later, you're done weeping or you're dehydrated. I don't know exactly what the cause of the stopping is. My point is you feel much better afterward, and that's it. You leave it there.
I've tried your closet trick, Tim, and I want to believe you, but for me, as you well know, I am incapable of crying.
What if we make make some sort of, I'm going to call it a pepper gun. It fires ground pepper into your eyeballs.
Listen, I have already confirmed that yes, I can force tears out of my eyes through physical pain or by putting a foreign object in my eye. The problem is that it would seem as though you do not get the emotional catharsis unless it seems to originate from within.
What foreign objects have you tried?
Pepper, lemon juice, the back of a bee.
Jesus Christ.
All of them made me weep uncontrollably. Interestingly enough, Tim, so did eye drops.
That might just be you misapplying eye drops.
They were nose drops.
Here's a fun tip, ladies and gentlemen. Do not put eardrops in your eyes. Those have a lot of alcohol in them, and they will burn the top layer of your cornea right the fuck off your eyes.
Tim, now you once lost the top layer of your cornea, did you not?
I did.
And how did you do that exactly?
I have no idea.
You think it was ear medicine?
It wasn't. I know for a fact it wasn't ear medicine. Somehow I scratched my cornea to the point that I had to put on 2 pairs of sunglasses, turn off my lights, and drive to the emergency room at 3 o'clock in the morning, endangering anyone that was around me. Also, I had to stop and take a break even though it was less than a mile from my home.
Hilarious.
Garrett, they peeled my eye like a grape. Their solution to it was to take forceps and grab the little raggedy part of cornea, just peel it off. And you know me, Garrett, I am wildly afraid of anything touching my eyes. I can't put eye drops in, I can't put contacts in, and I had to let a man peel my eyeball.
Folks, you have no idea how true this is, and it is so fucking funny. Like, if Tim had walked in there and they were like, oh, well, okay, sir, we know exactly what the problem is, and lucky for you, there are 2 solutions. We can do either one. One, we can peel that top layer off with a tiny pair of tweezers. Then we're going to probably cream up that eye, maybe put a patch on it for a day, and you'll be fine. You're going to instantly feel better once we do that. It's virtually painless, a little weird, but you'll be good. The other is we're going to put a live venomous cobra down your pants.
Cobra.
Every time.
Yes. After they peeled my eye, which is a real thing that happened, they wanted to put a protective contact in for me to leave in there till it healed. This poor cornea fellow, so she had done medical school, she had done residency, she was in a fellowship specializing in the human cornea. She lost 3 different contacts that she tried to put in my eye. She attempted at least 8 times to put a contact in my eye, and I fought her off, and I was victorious. Now, granted, my victory led to me, well, not having any protective layer over my eye. Also, I went to a wedding the next day.
Weird.
Yeah, I looked like I had pink eye because I had a pink eye, but it wasn't a viral thing. You can't catch it.
Yeah, but I'm sure everybody thought that you could.
Yes.
You know what they were thinking?
That I got poop in my eye.
That's right. He doesn't wash his hands.
Garrett, an important question we have to deal with on this episode. Is he full of shit?
I hope so.
I do too, but I'm not 100% sure if he's this sensitive soul with real feelings and he's just terrible at expressing it, or if this is like a ploy to get laid and or sell records.
I gotta go with the latter.
I hope it's a ruse. Either way, this is sadness porn. He is romanticizing sadness, and you always hear this with the LGBTQ youth, but what we really need is an It Gets Better campaign for his fans.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's putting this on legitimately for enjoyment's sake, they don't need Dashboard Confessional. They need intensive talk therapy and maybe some SSRIs. Listen, I'm not a pharmacologist, okay?
Well, I mean, that's not true. You are.
That is not true. I can prescribe and will prescribe psychiatric drugs.
Yes. But if this album really represents him, he would have been 24 or 25 when this came out. Like, he's got a real Rivers Cuomo thing going on. On full display is all of this guy's worst personality traits, this insecurity and creepy obsessions and jealousy, and it's all played off as if those shitty qualities make him deep. They don't. They make him an asshole. I mean, here's the thing. To a certain degree, all of these feelings are somewhat universal. The difference is everyone else that is not him realizes that that's them being an asshole and puts a lid on it.
Yes, well, or they write poetry that they then read in front of their entire class.
Yeah, that's fair. But the point here is just because something is genuine, that does not mean it should be celebrated.
Tim, we covered this in the Pretty Fly for a White Guy episode. And folks, if you're skipping the prepisodes, you are missing out. Those things have really evolved. Dare I say, Tim, I hold them to the same standard and quality that a normal episode is. But what we we covered was, listen, we are not all starting from the same point. I speak from experience, folks. Sometimes your genuine self is not ready for prime time. You need to tweak it, hide it. I'm not saying don't be who you are. I'm not saying hide from who you are. But depending on your phase in life, sometimes you don't have to overshare. Just because you have a unique perspective or think or feel something for another person, that's fantastic. Really think about both what you're saying and the format in which you're saying it before you do it. Because this is a prime example of every way it can come out wrong. Tim, I don't want to jump ahead, but I'm worried that this is going to quickly turn into an After Dark episode. So folks, strap in.
Yes.
Strap on. I don't know exactly how it works.
Jesus
but
Christ.
You get the metaphor.
We don't, but I don't want you to explain further.
Straps.
The album feels like the musical equivalent of being super angry that special someone didn't text you back right away. Sure, it's 4 a.m. and you're really drunk. She's probably just asleep and didn't get the message yet, but you kind of think she's banging someone else.
God, yeah. And there's only one way to know.
Oh, yeah, you go over there.
You gotta go over there.
This is what really troubled me. This guy, presumably, has male friends.
Maybe.
But imagine being friends with him. Imagine that you have the misfortune to find yourself like relying on him at some horrifically low point for advice or counsel, right? You're going through some troubles with your lady. I'm going to ask him what he does.
Gotta not take no for an answer. Show up everywhere. Learn her schedule. Make sure you know what she's doing before she does.
Exactly, Garrett. He would be the relationship Palpatine.
Well,
No, Garrett,
what?
You ask this guy, you say, I'm kind of worried. She hasn't been returning my texts for a couple of days. I'm worried something's going on. And he's just like, good. Give in to your darkest feelings, Garrett.
Okay.
She's never loved you, Garrett. She doesn't respect. She's probably cheating on you right now. Imagine it, Garrett.
He's some sort of incel Palpatine. He's trying to convert you from the light side of the Force. You're out there socializing, having healthy relationships with other people.
Go under your couch bed and take that thing you keep in the yellow shoebox, the one you don't think Tim knows anything about, even though you have a job and he doesn't, so he has all day to touch your things. Go catch her in the act, Garrett. Use the shoebox. Give her what she deserves. Good.
What are you implying I have a shoebox full of?
There's a handgun in a yellow shoebox under your couch bed. I forgot that was mine.
How in the world do you, 1, forget you purchased a handgun, 2, forget you put it under my bed, and then 3, find it later and then think it's mine? Why do we have a handgun? Did 6ix9ine tell you to get a handgun?
Well, so he said when he gets out, he can't get a handgun. So
Stop. Tim, you will go to jail. You have to stop.
Okay, we should just get rid of it, right?
Let's get rid of that gun.
Okay.
We don't need guns. We don't need guns in the fucking house under my couch bed. Jesus Christ.
No, and here's the thing. We have a shit ton of guns. They're just mounted on turrets. And
yeah, they're controlled by a very sophisticated AI that even I can't turn off.
Oh, God. This whole thing is just fetishizing sadness. It's also fetishizing pain, jealousy, heartache, as if they were all noble emotions.
It's the anthem of persistence always wins.
Right. Sometimes you gotta learn to let something go.
No means no.
He's like John Mayer if John Mayer had yet to get laid. Also, he's less talented than John Mayer. Also, I think I hate John Mayer. So that's...
Yeah, I know. I got a real problem with John Mayer, but you're right. I did a little research, Tim, because I had never heard this band. I wanted to understand, like, who are their contemporaries? Who are the bands that the internet believes are the same? And I got Jimmy Eat World, which is a band I actually know songs by.
They have such a different sound, though.
I see the Venn diagram, but I get the impression, based on the history you gave us, he slowly evolved into an actual band, which may not sound like this because, again, it's one guy whispering into a microphone.
Yes.
Or screaming, whining, wailing, jump jive, and wail. That's it. Other bands, Newfound Glory, Death Cab for Cutie, Taking Back Sunday. All bands I've heard of, all bands I don't want to listen to.
Sure, but they all sound significantly better than this.
I could see that. The next thing I did, Tim, I looked up the top 10 albums the week this came out. Want me to lay it on you?
Absolutely.
Santana, Supernatural, which I think won at least 4 Grammys that year.
Yeah, people love that.
I like Santana just fine, but whatever. Number 2, Dr. Dre, 2001. Christina Aguilera.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did not like that album
She's
either.
an alumnus, though.
She is. This next one, Tim, Kid Rock, Devil Without a Cause.
God damn it.
This one I've never heard of. Eiffel 65, Europop.
No idea.
Macy Gray, Oh How Life Is. I at least know that album.
I do not.
All the Way, A Decade of Song by Celine Dion.
Oh, I love her. She is, I don't even have the words.
French-Canadian Angel.
Yeah, those are words.
Anyway, after that is Fly by the Dixie Chicks. And then this one, number 9, is fascinating. Grammy Nominees 2000. It's a compilation album.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, though. It's like the now bullshit.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a thing anymore.
No, I don't
Maybe
either.
it is. Maybe it's a playlist on Spotify. And then number 10 was DMX, and then there was X. We should do a DMX album, because I used to own a DMX album.
Yeah, we should do more rap that isn't lull related.
I would like us to do a rap album that didn't originate on SoundCloud.
We'll have to dig way back. That or Christian rap, apparently.
Ugh.
Thanks, Kanye. You fuck.
God. At what point is the rest of the world going to decide to stop dealing with that asshole?
I feel like 2 Christian albums in. He did this one and then the Sunday Service did their own thing that he produced. I'm not counting that. He releases another Christian album and people are going to start turning on him.
I hope so.
Although he will have a whole nother set of Fox News viewing listeners. In all honesty, I think the point at which pop music turns on him, my mom might start listening to him.
Well, your mom's the canary in the coal mine. If she starts bringing up Kanye West, we're moving to Switzerland.
Yeah.
Oh, are you ready to get in these songs?
Absolutely.
All right. Track number 1, Screaming Infidelities.
We're beginning this sad sack of an album with a sad sack of a song about how he misses banging and is drinking a lot of Milwaukee's Best.
I did like that part.
I had to Google that, Garrett.
Oh.
I was not familiar with the beast.
Maybe it's a regional dialect.
Possibly. I'm missing your bed. I never sleep. Avoiding the spots where we'd have to speak. And this bottle of beast is taking me home. I'm cuddling close to blankets and sheets. He really wants to be in that bed, and he's avoiding seeing her because it will make him sad. But, I mean, he's sniffing those sheets, right?
Oh, you better believe he's sniffing those sheets.
Yeah, like he has not washed them, and that's kind of gross.
Yeah, he's putting his face where the... whatever.
After dark. After dark. Jesus
It's going
Christ.
to get so specific.
No, I know. Okay, so we start out, and he's just this kind of sad guy who's being a little creepy, but not too bad. And then it immediately gets sinister.
Sinister. Wow,
Sinister.
that's a jump, Tim.
Right
Prove it.
after that, but you're not alone, and you're not discreet. Make sure I know who's taking you home. I'm reading your note over again. There's not a word that I comprehend. That's either the reason she broke up with him, because he's super controlling, or he's stalking her after the fact.
Okay, I agree. I'll give you a third possible scenario because I came to the exact same conclusion. What if we're dealing with a situation where they very much have broken up, but maybe they're in San Francisco, New York, big city area where rent is not the easiest to come by, and they're still splitting a house.
Oh, good
Or an
God.
apartment. So he says he's avoiding the places where they used to argue or where he might run into her. Maybe that means like the living room. So when he says she's not discreet, he's sleeping on the couch because, it's a 1-bedroom on a 4-floor walk up, and she's in there just bringing home any Tom, Dick, and Harry, screaming infidelities, fucking 6 ways to Sunday.
Oh, God, and then he goes in there to smell the sheets.
Oh, yeah, because that's the closest he can get.
I'm cuddling close to blank. Oh, my, I hope your thing is wrong, because that's disgusting.
Feels right.
It does feel like him. So now we get to a real problem, because this makes me question how old the intended audience is. He goes on to talk about how super into making out he is.
Yeah, this was a serious level reset. This is geared towards like 16, 17-year-olds.
Oh yeah. The chorus of this song is, as for now, I'm gonna hear the saddest songs and sit alone and wonder how you're making out. And as for me, I wish that I was anywhere with anyone making out. This is for like high school at the eldest, because that is the last time it is appropriate for your ultimate goal here to be making out. That's not an adult goal. This is aimed at people younger than Katy Perry's Teenage Dream. There she said, let's go all the way tonight, which is still a very childish way of phrasing that, but it's still older than this. this.
Yeah, she also said, I want to see your peacock, which is a very childish way to phrase that, but she did want to see your dick.
Not my dick, right? Or just any dick.
I think it's on the table, so to speak, if you meet Katy Perry.
Well, yeah, she will force you to kiss her on national television, even though you were saving that kiss for your wedding night.
Wow.
That poor kid.
Folks, in the age of the technologies in 2020, if you run into a guy, this is just one man's perspective, Tim, you tell me if I'm way off base. If you run into a guy who says, you know what, sex isn't that important, I'm into, taking it slow, I'm going to enjoy just sitting on this couch and making out with you, that's just as good to me. You run from that man. That guy is a liar, a manipulative weirdo, and if he's telling the truth, that's twice as weird.
Yeah, it is quite odd.
That's a grown man talking about making out.
Yep.
Talking about practice.
This song also had another first for me. I don't know if you caught this. Part of the chorus has an annotation in it, and I clicked on the annotation, and I got this. Annotation in progress, ...
I did see that.
You realize what that means, though, right? In 2020, 20 years after this is released, people are still thinking about it and writing shit about it on the internet.
Tim, I've got pages of notes here.
Right, but it's not just us. These are people that are trying to be helpful. These are people that are writing this in an attempt to enlighten or possibly confuse, but people that are just interested in what the song's about.
You know, Tim, I didn't hip you to a fact this week. Been holding something back. We didn't say it in the general thoughts, but I think you'd agree if I were to say, this is some serious high school poetry.
Did you write us a new one?
Well, no, what? No. This album was in all likelihood written at the exact same time my high school poetry was written. And frankly, I'm feeling a little threatened.
So you believe that Topher here is your sexual rival, or was?
Yes, I think that's what I said. So, Tim, the problem I find myself with is that I hate this.
You're right, too.
But I've also got this high school poetry here, and I think there's a chance mine is worse.
I mean, there's always a chance.
So while I may not have any fun facts this week, official, Snopple, or otherwise, I do have the tome, the book of poetry.
It's so bloody.
It is not that bloody.
It's pretty bloody.
It's really not, folks.
It's bloodier than a book should be.
Sure. Anyway, you're getting me off track. The point is, Tim, I have noticed some similarities between these lyrics and the words that I wrote as a wee 16-year-old lad. And I am feeling compelled from time to time to maybe just read a few lines. So if that happens, I wanted you, the listener, and of course you, Tim, to understand what's going on here. And I want you to tell me at the end here, which one's worse? I mean, I wrote this years ago, so I shouldn't feel bad. I shouldn't feel any less that this man may have bested me at shitty high school poetry, but for some reason it bothers me.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about being interrupted this week at all by fun facts. However,
I suspect you're going to forget to read any of the poetry.
That's probably true. All right, Tim.
We still have to talk about the screamed outro.
Oh, yes. Oof.
The lines are, your hair, it's everywhere, screaming infidelities and taking its wear. I don't understand that last part.
I think she's coming into the kitchen to get some OJ after a super hot fuck sesh, and she's got sex hair.
Maybe. She has at least messed up hair. He might be twisting this.
Oh.
He has observed her hair being messed up. He has assumed that means she has been fucking, and now believes her to be cheating or banging a new guy. In his mind, it is cheating, because she said she would love him forever, and it hasn't been forever yet, so what the fuck, lady?
I think it all makes sense. She's got the sex hair. She's screaming infidelities. That's probably a pleasurable moan. Maybe she's screaming daddy. We don't know. She could be totally into that daddy life.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Shame
and
on
he's
you
just
people.
sitting there trying to watch Peaky Blinders and ignore the fact that this lady is getting hollowed out in the room next to
Okay,
him.
Jesus goddamn Christ, Garrett. You cannot say things like that on this show. I will not allow it, Garrett. I will not allow it.
He said it.
I don't think he said it.
Listen, after dark, okay?
I just want to say, Jesus Christ, I am not easily shocked. That was graphic.
I told you, Tim, it's hard not to go after dark on this one.
But not that after dark.
Oh, we got to go to new heights, Tim. Ever expanding, pushing the limit, feel the burn.
Oh, God.
You just yawn when I said feel the burn?
I did.
Very unprofessional.
I'm already tired of this album.
Track number 2, the sharp hint of new tears.
Expect me to apologize for things that you've done.
As a constant crier, I was tempted to relate to this song.
As a non-crier, I had a very difficult time understanding any of this.
We do find out the origin of the name Dashboard Confessional in here. On the way home, this car hears my confessions. Tonight I'll take the long way. Apparently, he's coming home from a date or whatever and just talking to his car.
My thought was that either he had gone to the ex-girlfriend's house, gotten into yet another argument when she saw him standing in the middle of the road watching her enjoy dinner. And she was like, Carl, you can't just do this. Nothing illegal about standing in the road. You don't own the road, babe. Yeah, but I do own the fucking restraining order that says a mile or more. So he's saying all the stuff he wishes he had said to her when they were having the argument, confessing all of his fears and insecurities, and having basically the argument with her again, but to his car.
And he's winning this time.
Yeah, you win when you do it alone. That's the shirt.
Jesus Christ. I will admit I do have long drawn-out arguments in the car with no one that I almost never win when I'm alone even. Well, okay, when I had a car, even then, Garrett, I didn't confess my crimes to my car because who knows who could be listening. Sometimes I get in the wrong car. Sometimes I forget I'm giving somebody a ride home. It's just safer to keep your mouth shut on the crimes.
Sure, sometimes federal organizations are wiretapping the locations they expect you to be in.
Oh no.
Tim, I want to bring up a poem I wrote when I was 16, entitled I Admire From Afar. I look, I see, her eyes meet me, but a glance is all I get. I search for things that few even look for, and see what no one else sees. Every step, wave, smile, and gesture, the smallest toss of her hair. The only thing I notice is she doesn't even know I'm there.
I think yours is better.
Wow.
His batting average here might be higher than yours. But again, he's a grown man. He's writing these songs in his classroom.
Oh, that's true. He's a grown-ass man. He's paying taxes.
The rest of this song is basically just a guy who's pretty convinced that he's the good guy and whoever he's dating is an asshole who has done him wrong. It's one of the most common themes on this show. The difference here is that he seems to revel in it. He enjoys it because he gets to feel sad and therefore he gets to feel special and he is right.
Well, he gets to be the victim, Tim.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how he's been wronged. He sings, "You've been asking me to bleed. It seems these kinds of questions, they come too easy to you now. Your lack of shame comes naturally." So what does she mean she's asking him to bleed?
I don't know.
And a lack of shame?
Oh, well, that could be the sex she's having in the apartment she shares with him, if your theory is correct. I don't think it is.
I mean, it feels right.
This is the chorus. Expect me to apologize for things that you've done wrong, but you're inciting others. You're owning up to nothing, and I wish that I was gone because you're not going anywhere. You know what? I think you're right. I think he's living in an apartment with his ex. Jesus Christ. You are right.
When I read "You're owning up to nothing, and I wish that I was gone because you're not going anywhere," it did remind me, Tim, in my younger years, I saw 3 different occasions where somebody attempted to end a relationship, and then the other person just said no.
Yeah, this was a Seinfeld bit as well. I've never encountered this with anyone that I've actually known, but I have heard that it happens. And I think if you're the lady, it might work. But if you're the guy...
Okay, no, that's not going to work. That's exactly where I was going with this. This is one of those things that a magical power that only women possess. A man will not ever be able to pull this off. Now, maybe 2 guys, that could be. I don't know. Can't speak to that. But man, woman, she says go, you got to go. Woman, man, you say go, she can go, not going anywhere. And that would kind of make sense because she also does say, I think you touched on it a little earlier, expect me to apologize for things you've done wrong, but you're inciting others. We knew a gentleman who had a girlfriend who would get very drunk and then start in on the, you better get the fuck out of my way or my boyfriend's gonna kick your ass. Which is not cool.
That ends in that guy getting savagely beaten at some point.
Yeah. And then you've got to apologize for this very drunk young lady picking fights with grown men on your behalf.
Sure. Absolutely.
Nobody wants to be there.
Here's the thing. I don't believe him. I do not think she has done anything wrong. I have listened to this guy's thoughts. I've listened to his feelings for a full week. I've read genius annotations. I've really tried to get inside this guy's head. He is the one that is in the wrong.
Interesting. Maybe this is just him referencing all the conversations he has to have with the random stream of men that keep coming into their apartment after banging.
Well, I don't know that they're random. It's just that she's not introducing them. They seem random to him.
Oh,
maybe
sure.
it's just one guy.
Oh, maybe. And he's just tired of having to make small talk because they have, one bedroom apartment. I understand it. You're on your couch bed. Some weirdo comes in, starts eating your peanut butter. Get the fuck out of here. Where are your underpants? Just been in there railing my ex-girlfriend and I'm supposed to just be okay with this? I'm trying to watch Peaky Blinders.
You should be okay with this. She's not your property, Garrett.
It's not my property, but it doesn't make it any more easy.
Well, sure. You're gonna be very sad. Not this sad, but still pretty sad.
No tears. Also, in her defense, something tells me he kind of deserves it.
This guy deserves anything that goes his way.
Yeah, he probably can feel that when the moans turn to, "Are you hearing this, Carl? He's way bigger than you, too!"
After dark, Garrett. After
Peaky Blinders!
Why do you love Peaky Blinders so much?
Never seen it.
Oh, all right.
But I do support all of the Cillian Murphy vehicles that I can.
Was he the Scarecrow?
He was.
Oh, I like him. He's got a face that really it's too angular for a human.
It's very sharp.
Track number 3, Living in Your Letters.
In your letters, breathe deeply.
Can we get a drummer or something that isn't a guy singing over a guitar?
Again, I would like it if it was interesting or good in any way.
I think I would rather listen to the Plain White Tees' Hey There Delilah 10 times in a row than this.
I can make that happen next week.
Oh my God. I kind of want to do it just because I said it. That's not on the schedule anywhere, and I would hate it so much.
This is a song about a long-distance relationship and how that's very hard and it makes him very sad, which might be the theme of the rest of the album.
Normally, we kind of read things two ways. We look at the surface material, and then we dig a little deeper. We try to figure out the alternate theories, what the subtext might be. This week, I think it's just right there on Front Street. He's fucking sad, and it's a long-distance relationship, but I do think maybe long-distance relationship might mean yet another woman has moved away when he just doesn't get it.
That's true. The other thing that internet people will say about this is that this is about him touring and being sad that he's away from his lady buddy, and I think that there are some lyrics on this album that will in some way support that. Here's the problem. I don't think he was actually doing that much touring at the point this was written. He was an elementary school teacher. That means he was in town for at least 9 months of the year. That town being, again, Boca Raton, Florida.
Right. And there's even another way to look at it. Remember, these are geared towards 17-year-olds at the latest, so maybe she just went away to college.
Maybe her family moved and she had to attend a different high school.
Real Steve Woganowski situation?
Maybe. Depends who
Something
that is.
about Mary.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
Poring over photographs, I'm living in your letters. Breathe deeply from the envelope. It smells like you, and I can't be without that scent. It's filling me with all you mean to me.
He wants to be filled by this woman.
No, he wants to fill this woman.
No, it's filling him.
By filling her.
Oh.
After dark.
Maybe. He goes on to say, continually failing these trials, but you stand by me nonetheless, and you won't let me sink, though I'm begging you. What does that mean?
I don't know. By all accounts, including his own, she's not standing by him. By standing by him, he means she drove away and did not give him a phone number.
So maybe he's writing unreturned letters. He's sniffing that one letter he got once. Possibly that the perfume he's smelling on that was from some sort of lady judge writing him a restraining order, and he just assumes it's her perfume. I don't know, and I can't say.
Oh, that's creepy.
Maybe he has found himself wavering a little bit. He started looking at some other ladies. That's him failing these trials because he hasn't seen her in months to years. Maybe he's gone to a lot lizard. That's not true. He doesn't have the guts to go to a lot lizard.
Why do you have to have guts to go?
You have to really be brave. There's a lot of robberies. There's a lot of venereal disease. A lot of them expect you to share a needle.
Share a needle? What if you don't want to do any H?
Then you have made a huge mistake going to a lot lizard.
Looks like the spider's got himself a fly. What? I'm paying you for anonymous sex. That's where it ends, sweetie. Starts with a little bit of speedball.
Anyway, the end of this song, he's trying to sound romantic, but he's definitely taking an unannounced trip, either to see her, to violate a court order, or if he is still dating this person and she is just somewhere else, to see if she's cheating on him. He says, so I'll hit the pavement. It's got to be better than waiting and pushing you far away because I'm scared, so I'll take my chances and head on my way up there. That plan won't end well. You probably won't catch her cheating on you, but you will definitely creep her out. Do not show up unannounced. It's not romantic unless you're super handsome, in which case everything you do is romantic, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've ever shown up unannounced, people are thrilled.
Yeah, you're very handsome, Garrett.
I wish you wouldn't say that.
I wish you'd stop giving me reason to say that. Maybe scar that face up or something.
Jesus Christ. Tim, I want to read some lines from this song. These roads go on forever, and there'll always be a place for you in my heart. Now I'd like to read these lines. Empty are my thoughts, not stupid nor smart. Alone am I always, empty in my heart. Am I a Dashboard Confessional?
You are a topher at the very least.
Was, I hope.
Maybe. I think
How did I go from such a sad, open young man to a non-crying monster?
I think those two are very directly related. Here's the thing. You might be a single breakup away. Now, of course, this is a breakup instigated by the lady in the scenario, but you might be a single breakup away from being a topher or a Dashboard Confessional.
Interesting. You're saying there's a chance that if I was broken up with, there's a chance that I would turn to writing shitty pop punk, emo,
or
romance.
At least poetry. You might never sing it to anyone, but you'll write it.
Oof. I think that's worse.
It is worse. This guy, at the very least, if you confront him and you start screaming about how terrible he is, and you really put a good scare into him, he at least can fall back on saying, listen, it's just to make money. Please don't hurt me. Stop stabbing me. Stop stabbing me. I'll give you the money that I made from this album.
2 more stabs and half the money. That's the best
fair.
I can do. Tim, is this the worst line of 2020 so far? Because turning to you is like falling in love when you're 10.
Yes.
What?
I don't know what it means. Whatever it is, I don't want to know.
It is unrelatable. Track number 4, Swiss Army Romance.
To see you undone.
I struggled with this one. I do think I cracked it.
Okay, lay it on us.
We know he's bad at relationships. We believe he might have suffered a recent breakup that he is not dealing with well.
Sure.
We know that he's a spiteful person. And we know that he is the sort of person that talks to his car on long drives.
Got it.
I think this whole thing is just the argument that he had with somebody in which he didn't say what he wanted to say. And then he wrote this as the cutting and insightful jabs he wishes he got in but didn't think of in the moment. The other interpretation, obviously, is that he is negging her. Perhaps he recently attended a seminar at a airport Hilton.
Oh, God.
But if he's negging her, he's going way too far. You want to mention some little things. They could even be a positive thing in a certain light. But you don't say, you're not happy, you're not secure, you're dying to look cute in your blue jeans, but you're plastic just like everyone. And that face you paint is pressed. Impressing most of us is permanent, and I'd like to see you undone. Oh my God, Garrett. That is a threat.
Yeah, and the face you paint is pressed. Impressing most of us is permanent, and I'd like to see you undone. We need to really look at that. And Tim, I want to give you one more potential theory. We know that young lady has moved away. She's probably up there at Oregon State, go Beavers, having a great
as far away
time.
as she can get within these continental 48 states.
Right. Living it up, maybe being a little vague on the details so nobody can accidentally make a connection. We're living in a very connected world, Tim. You never know. This creep might have like a niece or a cousin there, and they're like, oh, look, I found Nancy. Anyway.
There's no niece. We know why he's there.
Well, as we know, Tim, he did not like the distance in that last song, so he's up there in Oregon. He's following her around. He's listening to her tell these tales. She's got makeup on. She's doing the old behind shake for the men folk, and he don't like it. That's why he's being so cutting with it. You're dying to look cute in your blue jeans, but you're plastic just like everyone else. So he knew her before she was one of the plastics, just trying to fit in. He says, college night will draw the crowds. Dorms unload and you're heading out. He knows the schedule. He's watching her. He's been there long enough to see her attend class and knows the weekend schedule. What is he doing? Because he wants to see her undone.
I don't know.
Here's your moment to shine, making up a history. It's nothing from your life you lead, but man, will they buy all your lines.
I believe you probably found that part a little triggering.
Not triggering. It did remind me of some funny times we had in college.
Making up histories?
Not not so much making up, Tim, but embodying fairly easy to figure out fictional characters from film.
I don't remember this. This must have been before I got there.
No, you were there. You just weren't part of it.
Oh, were you?
We didn't do everything together.
That's untrue.
No, man, we definitely didn't do everything together. I have distinct memories from college where you weren't there.
Well, you say I wasn't there, but I mean, I was there. Maybe I wasn't saying anything, but like I was standing directly behind you.
My God. Tim, are you the West Campus Strangler?
I am not the West Campus Strangler. I keep having to say this, but I lived in West Campus during the entire tenure of the West Campus Strangler's career. I will admit I did my fair share of strangling in West Campus during those years, and I will even admit that all of the West Campus Strangler's victims were strangled by me. But okay, I am not the West Campus Strangler. That name is very limiting.
Again, I just don't understand how we can't get to that last step. Seems like you're the West Campus Strangler.
It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm not the West Campus Strangler. I kind of suspect he's going to murder somebody in this. Let's keep going with the lyrics here.
Okay.
You're dying to look smooth with your tattoos, but you're searching just like everyone. You could be anyone. I find that a little triggering.
Triggering?
He's saying she's faceless. I'm faceless. That's bullshit.
What do you mean faceless?
She could be anyone. I could be anyone. I could be you.
No, he just meant no. Well, that remains to be seen. Quite literally, because your face is anonymous. But no, what he's saying is she could aspire to be anything.
Oh, then I don't feel triggered at all because I do not relate to that.
No.
I am
very limited.
Pigeonholed.
Yeah, very limited. We're not 21, but the sooner we are, the sooner the fun will begin. So get out your fake eyelashes and fake IDs, and real disasters ensue. What disasters? Is he waiting for her to get sloppy drunk and then, I don't know, sneak up behind her and strangle her?
I don't think so. I want to be clear about that. Go on.
Okay. Well, then he continues. It's cool to take these chances. It's cool to fake romances and grow up fast. I think he's gonna murder this girl.
Yes. Also, when this came out, he was several years past 21, so there is a chance he's pretending to be younger to fit in with college kids.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's not creepy.
That's super creepy. Imagine if you just went to college. God, Tim, you could do this.
I know I could, but I would
No one would question it.
But I don't know that I could put up with that nonsense.
Oh, it's horrible. It's
18 to 22, go fuck yourself. No offense. Yeah. I know we have a lot of 18 to 22-year-old listeners, and you are fine. But think about not your friends, but anyone that's outside of your direct friend circle. They're annoying, and they're terrible, and you hate them too.
At the same time, enjoy your youth. You have no idea. Do everything.
Yeah, when you start to get this old, your back hurts, sometimes your eye has to be peeled. It's horrible.
I have not experienced any of this. I don't know what you're doing.
I am a wreck.
I'm sorry, did you say you're erect?
No, I said I'm a wreck.
Okay, we'll go to the tape later.
Track number 5, Turpentine Chaser.
Turpentine Chaser's got kick, and the rag that it's soaked in.
You ever drink turpentine, Garrett?
God, no, Tim. Do I need to call poison control? Do we need to hit pause on the old record-o-matic?
I think if it's not a problem now, it's not gonna be. Maybe keep a close eye.
I suspect it's a problem now.
He's been eating paint, I guess. He knows what lead tastes like and if paint has lead in it.
Yeah, he does seem to say that. I also want to remind everyone up top, don't worry, there's no instruments in this. There's just a guitar. He says the paint has been tasting of lead and their chips will fall as they may. So the surface description seems to be the thin veneer of polish they've been putting on a relationship is fading away. But what's confusing to me is we just spent 4 songs dealing in a breakup. So are we now in another breakup?
I think they're all about the same thing. He was very sad about that breakup.
Oh God, he's still just going on about it?
Yes. He says, the turpentine chaser's got kick, and the rag it's soaked in is rich. The fumes aid the pace of my cleaning, and as soon as I'm done, I am gone. He is trying to clean her stink off of his life with turpentine, but he also wants to smell those sheets a little bit, so it's a little unclear.
Yeah, Tim, at this point, I am 100% convinced he's murdered this girl, maybe not for the first time, and he's cleaning things up with turpentine.
So he has murdered somebody else before, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying he has, I'm saying he may have.
You're accusing him of serial killing.
Maybe.
I'm not being judgmental. I 100% agree with you. If he is as genuine and earnest as he is claiming in these lyrics. If this is not a product designed to sell to moody teens, he might not have killed yet, but this ends in him murdering somebody. Probably a lot of people. I don't think they caught the Boca Raton girlfriend gouger in the early 2000s.
I'm sorry, who now?
The Boca Raton girlfriend gouger.
I don't remember reading about the gouger.
It seems like a simple case if you're calling him the girlfriend gouger, look at the boyfriend. Who's the common boyfriend? But no one ever did, and so he remains at large.
Interesting.
The only possible reason that he is not murdering these women is if he has begun to frame rejection in his mind as either career fodder, or if he has literally physiologically adapted to enjoy sadness, possibly because he thinks feeling sad equals being deep.
So he's just like watching The Notebook and jaying off?
No. It's his own sadness. It has to be his own. He has to put himself out there. He has to get hurt. That's what does it for him. That's what gets him there. But then also he might be killing people.
Oh, sure. In a jealous rage, or possibly when they don't meet his expectations. I started to think about the opening of the song where he says, this pain has been tasting of lead and the chips they'll fall as they may. Maybe it's less of a metaphor. Maybe he killed this girl a little while ago and he did his best to preserve her, but we're talking about a corpse here. There's gases and fluids and such.
I don't like where this is going. To be real clear.
Well, that got me thinking, Tim. We've talked about serial killers on this show, and to be perfectly fair, most of the ones we've discussed, based on the music we've listened to, have been fairly pedestrian. So I got thinking, he's out there, he's making these women fall for him, and then the relationship has to tank, and he has to kill them so that he becomes more sad, and he can feed on his own sorrow.
Oh.
He's a self-feeding sorrow sucker.
He could survive forever on this.
I don't know. It's like drinking your own urine. Eventually, you're just drinking salt. With all that in mind, Tim, maybe there's a chance he is already active as a serial killer and he's needing to change up his modality. He needs a way to preserve these women. And I got thinking, what if this is the origin story of the serial killer known as the Candlestick Maker?
Why?
So he's got to preserve those bodies, right? While he sits mourning them so he can feed on that sorrow. But then he doesn't want them to get stinky and have the skin start peeling off and the various gases, and he can get them sealed in that wax. It'd be nice and solid. And then maybe you put like a wick in it, and that's like his calling card, right? So eventually he's got to get rid of these bodies.
Christ.
And so he like leaves them like in very public places with the candle lit. And the Candlestick Maker.
Oh my
like
God.
The butcher, the baker, and the Candlestick Maker.
Garrett.
What?
None of that's in this album. That came out of your head.
No. After Dark?
No, not this time, friend. There's no candles in this album. Oh my God.
You could make them festive around Christmas. You put some holly, maybe some cranberries and cinnamon. Did you say you fear me?
Yes.
Don't fear me. Come here.
No. I don't want to be one of your candles, Garrett.
Candlestick Maker.
Okay, let me ask you this, just hypothetically.
Sure.
If you were to turn a person into a candle, what scent would you put in the candle?
Sandalwood. I like a rugged candle. A lot of people like to go fruity or like laundry, which I've never found those to be particularly accurate. I like a good sandalwood or leather.
Okay, so you want to set a woman on fire and have it smell of leather.
It's the song wants to encase a woman in solid paraffin.
Christ.
That wasn't me.
Track number 6, A Plain Morning.
Colder than it ought to be in March, and I still got a day or two.
You know what's better than a guitar playing while a guy croons over it?
What's that?
2 guitars and a child. That's what you're getting on this.
I don't think it's an actual child in the background, but it sounds enough like it to really piss me off.
Kind of sounds like that chick from Garfunkel and Oates.
Yeah, but I don't mind her because she's singing about weird nonsense.
No, we like her.
I don't mind her is my highest compliment. He is super into weather-related lyrics for some reason on this.
What are you talking about?
The air is thick. I can't tell you the temperature is dropping. It feels colder than it ought to in March. It's warmer where you're waiting.
I think these are all metaphors for life, death, the afterlife, and potentially Satan and hell.
Okay.
It's yet to be determined, but the air is thick and my hope is feeling worn. I'm missing home, and I'm glad you're not a part of this. There's parts of me that will be missed. Tim, he's out there doing something that's going to change him.
Ooh, a becoming?
I don't know. I wanted it to be. You know I wanted it to be, but I didn't feel like this was a becoming. becoming. But typically one does shed former aspects of their personality, and he does say there are parts of me that will be missed. I got to thinking, Tim, obviously, I'm looking at this album through a slightly different lens. Maybe this is some sort of U.S. Marshal out hunting the candlestick maker, and he's missing his wife. He's glad she's not there to witness how he has to deal with these horrific tableaus of women encapsulated in solid wax, smelling of sandalwood.
Garrett?
Nothing. What are you talking about?
They smell like
in the
sandalwood?
song, Tim.
That's you. We don't know what his scent would be.
Mint berry crunch.
You're picturing Tommy Lee Jones hunting Topher here, right?
That's exactly what I'm picturing. I didn't put my wife in a candle. I don't care.
But also, yes, you definitely did.
Yeah, man, nobody else did. Look, if you can explain to me how some anonymous person got literally 3,000 pounds of liquid paraffin into your home, into a mold, convinced your wife to get into that container, and then let it set for 8 to 14 hours, I'll let you go right now. Anyway, Tim, and the phone is always dead to me, so I can't tell you the temperature is dropping, and it feels like it's colder than it ought to be in March. The fact that the phone is always dead to him is another reason I thought it might be this Tommy Lee Jones character. You know, oftentimes when they're out in the field, they're not allowed to use their phones for obvious reasons.
The other option here is this is Topher singing "The Phone is Dead to Him." She has blocked his number.
Ooh, I like that. And he can't say the temperature is dropping. Maybe that's his little code word for when he goes into the dark space and does the bad thing, starts ordering that wax, heading out to the local carnival auction, picking up a dunk tank, something big enough to fit a whole person in.
Okay.
I'm just saying, for instance, hypothetically, that would probably work.
Sure. If we're just talking logistics, then I agree with you.
Man, that's all we're talking, Tim. He says July like Chilai, and I hate him.
You love his family's mid-tier
Carrabba's.
Italian food, yeah.
Boy, mid feels...
No,
mid-
hey, they might be sponsoring us. You do not go lower than mid.
All right, yeah. If you're looking for an average Italian meal at affordable prices, come on down to Carrabba's. It might be okay.
Track number 7, Age 6 Racer.
Long, sweet summer. I fell into your
Tim, did you do the research on this song?
I did. Would you like
Did
to
you
go?
read the short story by D.H. Lawrence?
I did, Garrett. The Rocking Horse winner.
So did I. Really wish I hadn't.
It was a waste of time.
It's a crazy story.
It's real weird, and I don't think this song represents it.
has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so do you want to go through just bare bones what it is?
Sure. So, folks, both Tim and I independently, wish I'd known, would have saved us some money, by us I mean me, on purchasing 2 copies of D.H. Lawrence's short story, The Rocking Horse Winner. But anyway, we both read it. It's about a little boy named Paul. And Paul lives with his mommy, and his mommy has a spending problem. She spends slightly more money than Paul's daddy makes. Well, Paul, wanting to help his mommy after overhearing her talking about their money problems, wanted to help out, so he starts placing bets on horses through their gardener. Well, it turns out Paul's bets are not just hunches, but clairvoyant choices of the actual winners of every race. So he continues to win, and he's saving up all of this money, and everyone's a little skeptical, but eventually the gardener and his uncle come to believe him, and they decide as the big derby arrives, Paul needs to pick the winner so that he can get that money for his mom. What we come to find out is how Paul comes to discover the winner of each race. Paul gets on his rocking horse, and he has to quote unquote ride it in order to get into a trance-like state and pick the winner for each race. And because he before would just kind of guess and wasn't sure if it was right, he didn't focus that hard, but he knew he wanted to win for the big derby so that he could get a bunch of money for his mom. Well, spoiler alert for the rocking horse winner, he does win, but it takes a toll. You learn at the end of the book that every time Paul does this, he gets exhausted, and he was up all night riding his little wooden horse to pick the winner of the big derby. And Tim, I have a very special quote from this book, just for you and I, that stopped me cold. When Paul's mother comes home, having learned of her boy's gift, she sees him in bed, and she learns that it's come at a great cost. Paul is dying. And as Paul dies, his mother asks, How do you do this? And Paul replies, I never told you, mother, that if I can ride my horse and get there, then I'm absolutely sure. Oh, absolutely. Mother, did I ever tell you? I am lucky. Then he dies. Tim, he rides his horse, he gets there, and then he dies.
It's a real Christmas shoes story.
It really is. Minus the, Hep B.
Jesus.
I couldn't believe it. When he said, "Mother, I never told you that I can ride my horse and get there," when I saw "get there," I just froze. Have we been ripping off D.H. Lawrence?
Yes, I have. I don't know about you. I don't know where you get your inspiration from, but I, like Topher, get it from D.H. Lawrence.
Right. So all of that has nothing to do with this song at all.
Yeah, this song has 9 distinct lines and not a one of them relate to that.
No, he sings, "So long, sweet summer. I stumbled upon you and gratefully basked in your rays," which, I mean, I can only assume means that he met a girl named Summer, made her fall in love, and then encased her in wax. "Hey, thanks for that, Summer. It's cold where you're going. I hope that your heart's always warm," are words in this song. "I gave you the best. I gave you the best that I had. You passed on the letters and passed on the best that I had." What letters?
There's always letters with this guy. He is a huge fan of the handwritten word.
Have you ever sniffed an envelope?
Every time. Here's the thing.
What?
Never smelled anything but glue.
Why?
In case there's something different. What if I get a clue?
A clue?
I mean, yeah, just more information about the situation in which it was written. I don't know anything. Just more information, Garrett.
Tim, you get 3 types of mail: resident, collections, and 6ix9ine.
That's
Do not
true.
smell any of those. At best, 6ix9ine is going to smell like 6ix9ine or prison.
Yeah, not great. He's gotten fat. Have you seen him?
Yeah, it is
shoving
hilarious.
up. Yeah.
We'll get him on the treadmill.
Yeah. He can't run around the block. He will be gunned down.
Absolutely.
Track number 8. Again, I go unnoticed.
Another good night kiss is robbed of all its passion.
Here he's bemoaning his girlfriend no longer being interested in having sexual intercourse with him.
Right. This guy wants to fuck.
He at least wants to make out. We can't
No,
say
that's a
for
good point.
sure he wants to fuck. The song's lyrics, "So quiet, another wasted night, the television steals the conversation." So they're just watching TV, they're not getting to know each other better. Or making out. "Please tell me you're just feeling tired, because if it's more than that, I feel that I might break." He's begging that she say it's not that she's not interested in him. It's not that he disgusts her. It's not that she is encased in wax and incapable of having sex. She's just tired. Just not tonight, but definitely tomorrow.
That's what he's hoping.
Yes. Out of touch, out of time. Please send me anything but signals that are mixed, because I can't read your rolling eyes. And here's where I have a problem. Rolling eyes are not a mixed signal.
No, not at all. She hates you.
Yes. Closed-lipped, another goodnight kiss is robbed of all its passion. Your grip, another time is slack. It leaves me feeling empty. So he wants to make out. We already know that about him. Closed-lip kisses are just not going to do. The slack grip, I assume.
Come on, Tim.
She is not into giving him an HJ, and she is going through the motions, but she might be falling asleep while doing it.
Good Lord.
Oh, is that not?
It's not implied.
I think it is. What other slack grip are you thinking of?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Her
it's
lips?
totally implied that she's jerking him off. It's not implied she's falling asleep.
Well, she's pretending to, so he'll leave her alone.
God, that is a troubled relationship. Just say no. Oh, that's like when you got a good friend, you're like, "Hey, man, you want to go do something later?" "Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you're like, "All right, great. I'll give you a call around 7. And then nothing. And you're just like, "Hey, man, just say no. I don't give a shit." Drives me crazy. You say you're going to give someone a good hand job. You expect a certain amount of pressure.
HJ, Garrett.
What did I say?
Hand job. That's after dark. HJ is fine. We could be talking about anything. Any type of slack gripped HJ.
Tim, if I can interrupt us for just a moment.
You got some HJ poetry?
Maybe.
Oh, definitely you do.
I would like to interrupt for yet another poem from my high school poetry. This one is titled, "Who Do You Really See? I multiply in your eyes. You see more of me than shall ever be. But I'm just one. With all my strength I strive to be. The me you see. Who you want me to be. But that's not me. For I'm just one. When you look, just see me. Not the me you want me to be. The me I want to be."
Did she?
She did not. No. Actually, you know what? She did. She saw me for who I was.
Oh, God.
A tiny little rat boy making fuck eyes at a virtual stranger in front of her friends while he recites horrible poetry. So yeah, Tim, she got to the core and she said, I'm going to pass. Hard pass on your girl body and your terrifying words, weirdo.
You might have the body of a girl, but you have the thoughts and words of a much older man. I am not ready for this. This is basically a song about him being extremely extremely bad at communicating. He just needs to tell this to his lady buddy and not to us. Like, I have never said this about any other band or situation or person. He needs relationship counseling. He needs to listen to her. Maybe she is not feeling heard. Maybe she thinks that he is being a little too slack whenever after
With
dark.
his hand jobs?
Yes. And on that note, Garrett, I just have to say, I feel that sometimes I am not being heard by you. I want you, Garrett, look at me.
Yeah.
I want you to acknowledge me. I want you to acknowledge that my thoughts and my feelings are important.
Cannot.
God damn, I really thought that was
That's a
going to work.
hard no.
Yeah,
what did you expect there? Why do you set yourself up like that?
I don't know.
Tim, I want to call out something here. We touched on it. He says, closed-lipped. Another goodnight kiss is robbed of all its passion. I don't know about you. I wasn't raised in your house. For my money, I do not want an open mouth goodnight kiss. There should be no tongue in a goodnight kiss.
I disagree.
Ugh, you're an animal. What are you, Brazilian?
No, but you know, no.
So you want open mouth kisses and tight hand jobs?
I mean, yes.
I don't answer that.
I did. My answer was yes.
Track number 9, Ender Will Save Us All.
Right, but I can't always.
As you pointed out, his middle name is Andrew, the same first name of, well, millions of boys, but also the main character of the Ender's Game book. Andrew goes by Ender, because he's the, third in the family. That does not explain why he goes by Ender, or why this is entitled Ender Will Save Us All.
Yes, there is nothing related to Orson Scott Card or any of his books in this.
Yeah, so I just don't get it.
Genius Lyrics claim that this is loosely based on Ender, which is a pretty loose usage of the phrase loosely based. There's no evidence to that at all.
And weirdly, Tim and I are experts on the Ender's Game series. We have read all the books.
I think I skipped out on the last half of the fourth one.
That was a good call, Tim. Got real weird.
Yeah, but they're good. I mean, I genuinely like most of the Ender-related books. Now, Garrett, it's something we should probably discuss. Orson Scott Card, noted homophobe. If you are aware of his, or really the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints' stance on gay marriage, I would urge you and the listener to Google the book Songmaster.
Oh, no. Yes.
Because it is baffling for somebody that holds his weird moralistic views.
Hold on. I'm going to let you do this. My God. I'm going to let you explain. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody understands what's happening. Orson Scott Card, the author of the Ender's Game series, is a homophobe and says all kinds of weird, antiquated, super religious, gross nonsense. That just, nobody needs it. Let people live the life they want to live.
Can I give a quick example of one of those?
I guess so.
The goal of the policy is not to put homosexuals in jail. The goal is to discourage people from engaging in homosexual practices in the first place, and when they nevertheless proceed in their homosexual behavior, to encourage them to do so discreetly, so as not to shake the confidence of the community in the policy's ability to provide rules for safe, dependable marriage and family relationships.
Wait, his belief is that he is only maintaining his heterosexual marriage due to a certain confidence instilled by society?
Yes. And I think if you let me explain the plot of the book Songmaster, that will become clear.
All right. With that in mind, listener, Tim is now going to give you the actual plot of Songmaster. And don't worry, spoilers need not be said, because you would never read this book.
This is just the general premise. It is the story of a beautiful young boy whose perfect singing voice has the power of amplifying people's emotions, which makes him both a potential healer as well as a destroyer. He goes through a series of mentors in this, and I mean goes through, and somehow it delves further into gay sex and unsettling man-boy relations and boy-boy relations than that initial description would have you believe. I think that Orson Scott Card is hanging on to his heterosexuality by a thread. Give it a read.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes, sure, of course. And allegedly for all the other stuff, allegedly for that quote that I read, the thing that he wrote in an essay. The point is, this song is about none of that.
Well, yeah, but that book is definitely about a young boy who is coveted for his beautiful young boy voice.
Yes.
And then some really creepy stuff happens.
Right. And they give him drugs to make him keep his beautiful singing voice. It just keeps going. It's really fucking creepy.
But we're actually being pretty vague on purpose.
Yes.
It's pretty fucked up.
Yes. And this guy allegedly participated in preventing gay people, lesbians, from getting married for like a decade.
It's a weird hill to die on.
Especially if you've written the book Songmaster.
Yeah, I would agree.
So this song, I want to say first, it's played in full twice. He says, I want to give you whatever you need. What is it you need? Is it what I need? It is not. Separate people are different people. That's what makes them other people. And they have their own needs and desires that are different from your own, you crazy person.
Well, I think he goes on to him. So he says exactly what you read, but then he continues. He says, I want to give you whatever you need. What is it you need? Is it within me? I think he's checking to see if what's inside of him is what she needs inside of her.
What's inside of him?
Well, he says, is it within me?
Yeah, but
inside,
what does that mean then?
I think it means he wants to put his insides inside her.
Ugh, moving on.
Okay. He's not subtle. He says, there's got to be something that would be worthwhile for me to give to you. We need a connection, but you seem to push me far away from you. I mean, this is the story of the album, right? Every woman he gets near immediately begins to run away.
Yes. There is a stunning lack of self-awareness on this song. In verse 2, he says, it's hard to explain how I am getting by on so little from you. And of course, she's not dating you anymore. But then he goes on to say, it's hard to believe that I would let myself get so wrapped up into you. You've heard 8 songs from this guy so far. Is it hard to believe he would get wrapped up with somebody that doesn't want him?
That's all he knows, Tim. He's got to get as invested as he can. The more invested he gets in this relationship, the more it's going to hurt when he encases her in that wax.
But here's the thing. He genuinely seems to not know that about himself. If you're going to go around the Florida area gouging girlfriends or putting them into wax and leaving those wax tableaus around Boca Raton, lighting them at night as a horrifying beacon for your neighbors and the police, at the very least have the decency to be self-aware and to understand why you're doing this.
Oh, I think it's very common for the serial killer to not have that self-awareness. Tim, you're not a serial killer encasing women in wax, so it's going to be hard for you to relate.
Absolutely. It did not seem to be too hard for you to relate. I want to point that out.
Well, I'm more empathetic than you.
Oh my God, that you do empathize better with the North American serial killer than I do. I will give you that. If we continue on in this song, we get more of the I guess I'm always wrong and you're always right masturbatory bullshit. In verse 3, harder I push, the farther I fall. Maybe it's trite, but I can't always be wrong. Disagree?
Oh, yeah. I think if we pull one thing from this album, he is always in the wrong.
Yes.
And then as you pointed out, Tim, he sings the entire thing start to finish a second time.
Yeah.
It's like a 5-minute and 15-second song.
Right.
That could have been 2:36.
Yep, that is the math. Track number 10, Shirts and Gloves.
Make sure that I'm up to date on TV night. I hate to miss.
Didn't we already have a song about long-distance relationships?
All the songs are kind of about long-distance relationships. But you're right. Apparently he's dating a singer as well, or somebody that travels for a living. Maybe she goes to different states to rent rental cars and won't say anything beyond that. But he says, when I'm back from the road, you're out on it, and I'm tired of this distance, and I believe it's overrated, and this phone tag game is endless. So again, it's just about him being in a long-distance relationship. But then he says, road rules apply. There's so much action.
Right.
What are the road rules?
I think it means you can fuck on the road. You just don't bring it home. Road rules apply. There's so much action. You're getting busy, so I'll call your cellular phone. Boy, it was really 2000, huh? To tell you TV night was lonely without you, and so am I. Yeah, I think this dude's home alone, just having his own little pity party, and she's out there fucking. And he knows it.
Yes.
Because it's road rules. It's like the zip code rule, Tim. If you're in different zip codes, it's not cheating.
That's not true, Garrett.
Well, I'm not saying it's true or false. I'm not here to decide all the rules in America, not yet. But I'm just saying that's the rule as I understand it.
Okay.
You sure it's cheating?
It is. It's cheating.
Oh, it's not the rule I live by. I'm just telling you what I've heard. People are saying it. What is the title mean?
I don't know.
This song. It's called Shirts and Gloves.
I don't know, man. Who gives a shit? Let's be done.
Yeah, this is my least favorite song on a very shitty album. So to that, I say, fuck you. Tim, how did this thing do?
Not great. It hit number 39 on the 2003 Billboard Top Heat Seekers chart, and that is the only one listed, so there's that.
Great. Before we get into what people thought of it, Tim, I'd like to just take a moment, if I can, and read for you a quick selection entitled Girl, written at the sweet age of 16, possibly 17. Girl, sweet, sweet girl, the way that she walks, the way that she talks, her long golden hair, but she didn't care. I might as well have been dead. I asked her on Thursday. We went out on a Friday. This girl that I loved that I sought. After that night, though, and after we talked, I learned that there wasn't a thought in her head.
Is that a ... head question mark?
What does that look like to you?
It is. This is a new one. I don't think we've heard this one before.
It is, Tim. I'm glad you picked up on it. I have been saving this one last high school poem. I believe it is the end of the tome.
So we burn it with it, all the pain, all the heartache, all the Dashboard Confessional-y personality that you used to have.
Do you think I would start crying?
Maybe if you got some of the smoke in your eyes, but otherwise probably
Again,
not.
Tim, that does not count.
Fair enough.
All right. What do people think of this?
This has 108 reviews on Amazon, 4.2 out of 5 stars, 65% 5-star, 6% 1-star. The first one here is by Brian. It's called Simply Amazing, and it's from 2001. Okay, I have to begin by saying I absolutely despise punk music, and it is beyond me how this was thrown into the punk category. To me...
Agree.
Yeah. To me, Chris's music sounds a lot more like Dave Matthews than any punk band. His songs are so heartfelt, and the thing is, my girlfriend introduced me to this CD, and the lyrics really helped me after she dumped me. A must-have for anyone that likes acoustic music. This is literally the one CD I felt like I had to get my hands on. A must-buy, 5 out of 5 stars. This is by Brian Crawford, also from 2001. It's called Does It Get Any Better? Chris Carrabba is one of my good friends. I'm in a local band in Nashville, and we've played a couple of shows with him. He's a great guy. The first time we played with him, I was so amazed at his writing. The way he controlled the crowd was great. Everyone was silent. They were in awe of what Chris was making. His music is so heartfelt. The rumors of full instrumentation will hopefully be real on the new album. Plus, my favorite song, Note Between Pages, should be on this release. 5 out of 5 stars.
Man, these reviews are almost as difficult as the fucking songs themselves.
Next one is by Aaron Cumberledge. It's called Great. The best album I've heard in years. Too bad he's an unbelievable sellout now. This album ruled. 5 out of 5 stars. Also, that was written in 2002, so that means he didn't like his second album.
Well, here's the thing, Tim. Unknown fact about Miss Cumberledge. She was raised in a single room and never exposed to any music until this album.
Oh,
so,
she must have loved it. Fair enough. Also, I'm not sure why you think Aaron is a lady, but that's fair.
Cumberledge? Really? You think that's a man's last name?
Shadowgraphs in 2002 titled his review, If Orson Scott Card Was Dead, ... He'd be rolling in his grave. Ender's Game is one of the best books I've ever read, and when Chris Carrabba refers to it in one of his songs, it really irritates me. This is not true emotion. It is someone whining and crying about love gone wrong. Jeff Mangum of Neutral Milk Hotel, bless his soul, makes real, honest acoustic music. Instead of I miss your bed, I never sleep, it's what a beautiful face I have found in this place that is circling all around the sun. Notice the difference between a man missing his old girlfriend's bed and a man recognizing the beauty of a face he may never see again. You decide which one is wiser. You decide the real poet. Feel free to vote this review not helpful. I am only trying to tell you the truth. 1 out of 5 stars.
That guy's crazy as shit.
Yeah,
and I probably agree with most of the things he says.
Yep, but again, that guy's nuts.
What I love is, it's rare, Tim. If we didn't have this show, I wouldn't be this person. Rare to find the guy guy who's so open-minded enough that he's like, Neutral Milk Hotel? Yep, I like this. Dashboard Confessional? Oh God, no. He's trying it all.
Yeah, that's fair.
Respect, but, crazy.
Yep.
God, Tim, who's this for?
This is for a very select group of people. This is music for people to listen to on headphones while digging through their girlfriend's trash while she's in the shower to look for used condoms to prove she's cheating. And upon finding no used condoms in that trash, they're even angrier because how could that bitch not use a condom when she's cheating?
God, raw dogging with some fucking stranger?
After dark.
Fine, after dark, but Tim, I'm making your point.
No, you're not.
You said this.
You misunderstood what I said.
I doubt it.
Okay. Just the worst.
Boy, that's got to be a tough way to find out your girlfriend's cheating on you, though, right?
In this example, he's crazy. You see, he doesn't find condoms because she's not cheating on him, but he's using that as more evidence that she is and that it's even worse. You see, because he's crazy, like Topher.
Right. Okay, that's fair. Tim, anything else you want to say about this stupid album?
If you want sad, sparse acoustic music that's real sad, listen to Mount Erie. If you want heartbreak, listen to Phil Elverum or whatever his name is sing about his wife's death from pancreatic cancer right after giving birth to their first child, and a pro looked at me. This is the sound of a grown man's misguided attempt to get laid or worse.
Yeah, I tried to avoid it, Tim, but the Mount Erie comparison is dead on. A Crow Looked at Me is the proper version of this. And he recorded that in his fucking dead wife's former shared bedroom. So he gets to be sad. Not that he doesn't get to make out with somebody. Fucking asshole. He's left with a newborn baby after his wife dies with pancreatic cancer. Those are problems. That's a man's problem. Not a boy who's worried his ex-girlfriend has too much makeup and sleeps with no sheets. God, I fucking hate this guy.
We didn't even mention that lyric. It's real weird to sleep without sheets on your bed.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you do it because you're very hot. You produce a lot of body heat. You frequently sweat the bed. It's possible you have tuberculosis.
That's more than I was wanting to share.
All right. Since we're here, the tests are in. It is confirmed you have tuberculosis.
No, Tim, negative means don't have.
Oh, well then you really need to investigate further because...
Oh yeah, no, I definitely need a good endocrinologist. Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
Night sweats are happening.
Tim, do you hate this album?
Yes. Fuck this. I don't care for it. What about you? Gazzy, do you hate this album?
Yeah, this was horrible. I don't know how we managed to talk about this as long as we did. I guess all that candle talk really took us down a road.
Yeah, well, we learned that you're a murderer.
I didn't.
You did?
We learned that you're the West Campus Strangler.
No, I'm not.
Folks, as always, rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell your dog, tell your postman, tell a stranger on the street, make banners and hang them in your city, make bumper stickers and put them on every light post, unless that's illegal, in which case don't do that. But, wink. Allegedly, I don't know, after dark. What you can do, though, is you can go to hatepod.com and you get every episode we've ever done in every format you can dream of, except for Pandora Premium. They can go suck a big fat one. You know why, Pandora. Yeah, you can't get us on Pandora. You can't get us on a Zune, but you can get us every other place you can possibly think of. You can even download the episodes yourself, and then I guess you could put it on your Zune. So we're everywhere, folks. You can also go to hatepod.com, click on Contact Us in the upper left-hand corner, and reach out to us. It asks for an email. That's just so we can email you back. We don't mark it at you. You'll never get anything from us except for a response thanking you for your great email. And hey, you're wondering what to write? Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Tell us your theories. Tell us your experiences with these albums. Were you in high school? Were you socially a pariah? Did you recite poetry to a girl that you were in love with only to have them all very clearly talk about it afterwards, leaving you feeling empty inside? Can you not cry? I want to hear about it.
Can you only cry? We want to know about that too.
Absolutely. Are you a Tim or a Garrett? Or you can reach out directly at hatepodmail@gmail.com. That's even easier. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at albumhatepod or Instagram at hatepod. You can find us at facebook.com/hatepod, and we're on YouTube, but God only knows what that is. You know how the Google machine works. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been sad.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.